it's coming up. So in our last session, we discussed about what is SAP S4hana, what is HANA database, and the versions of SAP S4hana. And then we also discussed about the feature pack stack and support pack stack for SAP S4hana and the functionalities of SAP S4hana and how SAP S4hana is different from SAP ECC application. So coming to conversion, you can also migrate SAP ECC to S4hana. Anyhow, it is not our responsibility; it is the responsibility of a basis team. First, updating roles and authorizations. First, a conversion to SAP S4hana is at its core an upgrade. As with all upgrades, this means that you must update your roles and authorizations. For example, there will be a new checks for authorization objects, new transactions and old transactions. This is business as usual and will require a significant amount of effort. A firm grasp of security transactions SU24 and SU25 will help smooth the way through the required task. So when you are planning to upgrade S4hana, when you are planning to upgrade from ECC to S4hana, so what the changes you would get from S4hana in terms of authorization objects and authorizations and transaction codes, that information you can find in SU25 and SU24 transaction codes. We'll also see those changes, okay? And SAP S4hana includes new SAP Fiori apps, which are basically web services, and user need authorization to use these apps, which is not too difficult to configure. But SAP S4hana includes a major design change in how to build roles. So coming to SAP S4hana, still we have a PFCG transaction code to build the roles, but we have SAP Fiori too, right? We have SAP Fiori, and using this SAP Fiori, you are going to build roles in SAP S4hana. So what exactly SAP Fiori apps that we will discuss throughout our groups. So this can be a challenge for those who are not yet familiar with SAP Fiori apps and how they are published using SAP Gateway. So the communication between SAP Fiori applications and S4hana is done using SAP Gateway. What is SAP Gateway? That also we'll discuss. In SAP S4hana, the role building transaction PFCG includes new mechanism to integrate app catalogs and to communicate and sync with the publishing instance. It is important to understand how these mechanisms work and which steps to take in transaction PFCG to ensure a proper role building process in SAP S4hana application lifecycle. So we'll see how we can use SAP Fiori applications to build roles for SAP S4hana business roles, and we'll also discuss about the components used in Fiori application and the configurations for the Fiori application for the backend system SAP S4hana. Here the Fiori system will be treated as a front-end system and the back-end system will be SAP GRC. sorry, SAP S4hana, that we will see. Okay. So SAP Fiori is a collection of apps that are created based on the rules of SAP user experience. SAP Fiori is built using SAP UI5, which is HTML5, which is based on HTML5. Uh, Using this HTML5, these apps, Fiori apps, are developed. So the first Fiori apps got introduced in the year of 2013, and there were 25 apps for managers and employees with request and approval functions had been released in the beginning. And since then, the number of apps has increased greatly. And now, currently, for SAP S4 HANA 1809, we have 11,175 Fiori apps available. Got it. For, business components, for the business process, depends on the business components, the Fiori apps are developed. So coming to SAP S4 HANA, we have around 700 plus Fiori apps available for SAP S4 HANA. Coming to ECC Business Suite, we have apps. We have apps for different applications. And coming to this SAP S4 HANA, I'll be showing you how many apps we have for SAP S4 HANA. So in the beginning, we had 25 Fiori apps which got developed for managers and employees for requesting and for approval functions got released in the market. And currently we have 11,175 Fiori apps. Coming to Fiori, Fiori is installed on top of SAP NetWeaver application server ABAP. So as we have all the participants with SAP GRC experience, SAP GRC is what? It is a front-end system, right, which will get communicated with the business system, and the business system will be treated as back-end system. So GRC is a front-end system and business system is a back-end system. So the same way we have SAP Fiori application, which is treated as a front-end system, and the back-end can be SAP S4 or it can be business suite applications. So these business applications are called as back-end systems, and SAP Fiori is called as front-end system. So these are the versions we have for Fiori for SAP S4, and the Fiori front-end server version 1 is for no Fiori front-end server 1 for SAP Business Suite, as it got released in the year of 2013. So there were only SAP Business Suite applications. And then after that, since Fiori Frontend Server 2, Fiori apps got developed for SAP S4 HANA, and the starting version of the SAP S4 HANA is 1511. And then we have Fiori Frontend Server 3, and we have applications, Fiori apps for SAP S4 HANA 1610. Then we have Fiori Frontend Server 4, and the backend is SAP S4 HANA 1709, and this is 1809, and the Fiori Frontend Server is 5. So let's see what is our Fiori Frontend Server. This is our Fiori, which is based on SAP NetWeaver application server ABAP. SAP Fiori front-end server 5.0. Correct. And support pack stack is 01 2019. This is our Fiori front-end server. So we just need to install this component which provides you SAP user interface, and then it will also provide you few other components which I'll be showing you in the coming slides. Okay, this is our SAP Fiori front-end server, and at the back-end server we have is SAP S4hana 1809. This is SAP S4hana Foundation, and along with this SAP S4hana, we also have SAP Fiori front-end server. It means we can use this system as backend, and we can also use this system as front-end. But I'm not using this system as front-end. Let's have two separate systems. Okay, one is for Fiori, and one is for SAP S4hana. But still, you can also use the same system for both Fiori applications and for S4 as well. If you have installed both the components, SAP Fiori frontend, if you have installed in SAP S4hana application, then you can use. This is called embedded deployment, which we will discuss in few minutes. SAP user experience strategy. SAP's UX strategy has four areas of focus. New. SAP continues to create new application with customer-grade user experience to accomplish customer needs. So what is this new? SAP Fiori efficient access to information, user productivity, complexity reduction. So SAP creates, new Fiori applications for SAP business applications, and the advantage of the Fiori is it is completely different from the traditional SAP transactions, right? When it comes to traditional SAP transactions, when you execute a particular transaction, you might find you will have number of functionalities to be performed, right? And for example, in one transaction, you may have around 15 to 20 functions to be performed, right? And we generally don't use all those 15 to 16 functions in a transaction code. We might use 3 or 4 functions regularly. So then having all those functions in one transaction and then removing those functions which are not used frequently, got my point. When it comes to Fiori, what we are doing with the Fiori, we are not going to have all the functions which are not used, right? Then you can also ask me, so are those functions will be deleted permanently? No, those functions will not be deleted permanently. We can customize as per user requirement. as per user need. For example, when you are performing a transaction, when you are performing a particular activity in sales, so you can customize the screens of the sales. And when it comes to your traditional transactions, you cannot customize. Not only for the transactions, even you have reporting activities where you don't use all the functionalities of a particular transaction. So such functions can be removed from your screen. You can customize as per your requirement. Efficient access to information, user productivity, complexity reduction. Renew. The Renew part of SAP user experience strategy consists of mainly SAP Fiori apps. Classical ABAP transactions are taken and decomposed in several small apps connected via navigation path. So we have traditional transaction codes, and in this traditional transaction codes will have a number of functionalities. So what we can do for these traditional transaction codes, we can create groups for a particular transaction code, and we can add the functionalities, and we can also remove the functionalities which are generally not used in the transaction codes. Such way we can renew the traditional transaction codes using this SAP Fiori apps. Then we have Empower. This principle gives SAP customers and partners the ability to improve user experience on their own using various enablement tools. We have a number of tools for customizing SAP Fiori apps. SAP has delivered the standard Fiori apps. We can also create customized Fiori apps. Generally, it is the responsibility of the developers to create the new Fiori apps. We can also create new Fiori apps for our SAP business applications. Along with the development of new Fiori apps, we can also customize the Fiori apps as per our requirement. So these are the tools available. SAP offers tools and technologies to empower customer to realize user experience on their own. We have SAP Build is a tool for prototyping web applications using Fiori user interface elements or imported images of user interfaces. The resulting SAP user file, which is based on HTML5 project, can be imported in SAP Web IDE. Web IDE is what? Integrated development environment, and this Web IDE is used by the developers to develop new apps. SAP Web IDE is the integrated development environment for the web technology SAP user file and the basis of all Fiori web apps. So using this SAP user interface file, you can develop new Fiori apps. So user experience theme designer is a browser-based graphical. What you see is what you get. Editor for designing the look of web apps. So using this user interface theme designer, we also have, when it comes to the customizing, so we have a Fiori Launchpad designer. We can also customize, in which we can also define the screens and the images for Fiori apps, for the existing Fiori apps and for the new Fiori apps too, using this UI theme designer, which I'll be showing you in our training. Then we have SAP Fiori Launchpad, is the customizable role-based start page and frame for Fiori web apps. So this is what SAP Fiori Launchpad is, the central point to access SAP Fiori applications, and all end users will have access to SAP Fiori Launchpad. By using this SAP Fiori Launchpad, end users can log into the system and then they can use the Fiori apps, which we'll see in our training. SAP Fiori design principles: role-based, responsive, simple, coherent, and delightful. Role-based, SAP broke down several SAP transactions and turned them into easy-to-use apps that are task-based and tailored to show only the most relevant information that user needs. So coming to the role-based, whatever the role a user has, based on that we can customize the SAP Fiori applications. So for example, if you have the responsibility of if you are working in sales department and your responsibility is to create sales orders, but along with creating sales orders you will also have a number of functions available in the same transaction that will be removed from user. Only the responsibility, only the role user has, only those access will be provided, and the other functions will be automatically removed that we can customize. Responsive, SAP ensure that SAP Fiori work seamlessly to facilitate consistent user experience across all devices such as phones, tablets, desktop, and SAP Fiori supports multiple technologies such as iOS, Android, Windows, Mac. So Fiori applications can also be run on different devices, like we have devices with Fiori applications can also be run on mobile phones, tablets, desktops, and it can also be used for iOS, Android, Windows, Mac. Okay, simple. SAP Fiori is focused on delivering simple, intuitive user experience to match consumer demands. Okay, SAP used a simple 113, one user, one use case, three screens philosophy to make SAP Fiori apps easy to use and learn. So coming to this simple, um, when it comes to SAP Fiori, it is very simple to use comparing to the traditional SAP transaction codes. Coherent, SAP ensure that all SAP Fiori apps have similar look and feel by establishing best practices and design. So coming to SAP, we have Fiori tiles. We also have Fiori groups, in which again we'll have Fiori tiles. Look-wise, all the Fiori tiles are very similar with each other. Okay. Delightful, SAP Fiori is designed to have a low barrier to adoption and to provide user with apps that enable them to be proactive by providing an assistant. So coming to delightful principle, so you can also design the Fiori app tiles as per your requirement. That is what delightful. These are the principles we have for Fiori user experience design. Then implementation planning. As we discussed, so we have two ways of implementing SAP Fiori. One is embedded deployment and the other one is central hub deployment. Very simple. When it comes to embedded deployment, what you do is you are going to have the business application along with Fiori app in the same system, that is called embedded deployment. Very simple concept. So the main component for SAP Fiori is SAP Gateway Foundation. Okay, SAP Gateway Foundation is the main component for SAP Fiori. And this SAP Gateway Foundation component is part of every SAP NetWeaver since SAP NetWeaver 7.4 version. Understood? Before, if you are planning for SAP Fiori for the versions of 7.3, 7.2, or for the lower versions of 7.4, then you need to install these components separately. But from 7.4, SAP NetWeaver Gateway Foundation is a default component in all the SAP ABAP-based applications. Okay, so you need to have this, which will contain IWPG, PGW, IWSPI, and IWGIL. These are the data model consumption available in this SAP Gateway Foundation. This is what embedded deployment, where you will have Fiori front-end server on the same application, same SAP S4hana application. You are having Fiori front-end server and back-end server in the same system, then it is called as embedded deployment. Let's see our system. What is here?
Shahid, I have a question.
Yeah, please.
When you have an embedded system, when SAP delivers, so you have all those 4 components already delivered, or only SAP GRF and the rest you have to install?
No, all are already delivered. That I'm showing you now. Okay.
Okay.
Just wait. Okay. See, coming to the install product versions, I can see SAP Fiori front-end server and SAP S4hana Foundation. It means this is the embedded deployment. Understood? But we are not using this embedded deployment scenario in our training because we again have a separate server for Fiori frontend. Understood? So this is what the backend system, and still we also have SAP Fiori frontend server, and by this SAP Fiori frontend server, what you get is for deploying this SAP Fiori frontend server, you must have SAP NetWeaver Gateway Foundation. And this is what the default component for all the AS ABAP-based applications. This is the default component for all ABAP-based application. You don't need to install it separately. And when you are installing this SAP Fiori front-end server, what you get is you get 3 components. Though it is not required for the securities, but having the knowledge of components is, will help you to troubleshoot the issues, to understand the architecture easily. Okay. So having this SAP Fiori front-end server, what you get to install this, the requirement is SAP Gateway Foundation, which is already available, and then you start deploying this SAP Fiori front-end server. When you deploy this, you get 3 components: SAP user interface, okay, SAP UI, and then along with this, you also get UI basis. This is what the default one, which comes by this SAP Fiori frontend server. So SAP user interface is a mandatory component for Fiori frontend server, and then you'll also get this user interface for basis application, and then you will have one more application, one more component, that is this is the one. It's not the one. I'll show you that. I'll show you that. These are the 2 main components for Fiori front-end server. Anyhow, so again, this Fiori for basis applications is not a mandatory component. The main component for Fiori front-end server is SAP user interface. Okay, and the prerequisite for this SAP user interface is SAP Gateway Foundation, and you also have UI basis component which comes by the installation of SAP Fiori front-end server. Then we have central hub deployment. Coming to central hub deployment, we have now two separate systems. Front-end system, where you will have SAP Gateway Foundation component, and along with this Gateway Foundation component, you need to install, uh, SAP Fiori front-end server by which you get SAP underscore UI component, and you also get UI basis component. So this is what the central hub deployment, where Fiori front-end server and back-end server are different. Embedded deployment, you are going to install SAP Fiori front-end server on the same system where you have backend, on the same server where the backend application is also available. That is the difference between embedded deployment and central hub deployment. And coming to our scenario, we are going to have two separate systems. So it is central hub deployment. This is what the Fiori front-end server. I just have installed SAP Fiori front-end server on this SAP NetWeaver AS app. Okay, and the version of the SAP NetWeaver AS app is 7.52, and we have SAP Gateway Foundation, which is common for all the SAP NetWeaver AS app application servers. Okay, it is a default component, and after this you just need to install this SAP user interface. Again, this is also a default component. Understood? This is also a default component. Then you have UI basis. Along with this UI basis, let me check. There should be one more component I'm trying to find for SAP.
अलग से graduation साथी से कंपेयर करके घर बैठे और बाजार का काम एक करोड़ है तो इंश्योरेंस समझाना वाला इंश्योरेंस का चार्ज कर कमाई
Okay, so the version of SAP NetWeaver is 7.52 here. This is what Fiori front-end server. And coming to the version of SAP S4 is, this is SAP S4. And the version here is 753, and there we have 752. Okay. So this is what central hub deployment of SAP gateway, SAP front-end server, where we have SAP gateway, then central user interface component, and then product user interface component. So product means what? So based on the requirement, we can download the Fiori apps and we can install it so that the apps can be used for the backend system. So what product user interfaces we have, that we will discuss in detail. So currently how a system becomes a Fiori front-end server having SAP gateway and central user interface component. So this is what central user interface component. Let's get into this one. So SAP gateway, and this is what central user interface component. And then you need to install product-based user interface component. Coming to product-based, we have UI AP F170. This is for S Finance. Then we have product-based user interface component, SAP Fiori for SAP GRC 12, GRC access control 12, and this is the user interface. User interface product for GRC 10.1, and then we have a user interface product for human capital management, S4hana, UI for travel. So depends on the requirement, you can additionally install product-based user interface. Yeah, please.
Shahid, one question. Go back to the previous screen which you were showing. How do you know that is for 12, GRC 12 or 10.1? I think the bottom one is for 12, the up one is for 10.1.
No, this is for 12.
See, at the bottom it says,
This is for 12 and this is for 10.1. Because I have installed these. Okay, and
how do you distinguish? How do you distinguish?
While downloading the component,
Okay.
you get the component information. You get the component information that this component is for SAP GRC 12, and this is for GRC 10, and this is for HCM. Okay. Anyhow, we'll also discuss about these components. What components are required for Fiori apps based on the backend application that we will discuss. Okay. Okay. So this is what product-based user interface, which we have seen here. So we have product-based interface GRC, GRC 12, HCM, S4hana, UI for travel. These are what the product-based user interface. And the common user interface, the central user interface is SAP UI, and then we also need to have SAP Gateway Foundation component. By this, we can say this is what the front-end system. Okay? Okay. SAP Fiori front-end server offers a bundle of technology components that are required to run SAP Fiori scenarios. It contains the following: UI development toolkit for HTML5, SAP User Interface 5 framework, and the components to run SAP Fiori Launchpad on ABAP stack. So this is what central user interface component, which we have seen here. This is the central user interface component. Okay, and then we have gateway core component on ABAP stack. This is gateway, and then we have SAP Fiori implementation foundation. So we should also have this SAP Fiori implementation foundation. I have seen it somewhere. Just let me check. It's not a mandatory component. Okay. It should be there somewhere. Okay, but it's not a mandatory component. Just for the configuration purpose, we have this SAP Fiori implementation foundation. Then SAP Fiori basis apps, 3 components: gateway. Okay, 4 components: gateway, central user interface component. These are the 2 mandatory components, and then these are not required. These are for configuration purpose, automatic configuration purpose. Okay. Then we have see here. This is what front-end server detail for product version SAP Fiori front-end server 3.0, and the release date. The release date is 25/10/2016, and we discuss about mainstream maintenance. So the end of mainstream maintenance for this product is 30/12/2019. It means you have around 4 years of maintenance, mainstream maintenance. Okay. So what we are checking here is, okay, this is the information of Fiori front-end server. So we can see here.
Yeah.
Can you please mute your mic?
Shahid,
Yeah, please.
Yeah, SAP Fiori front-end server, is it a Java stack?
No, not a Java stack, ABAP stack.
Web stack. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So this is the information of the front-end server. Official name SAP Fiori front-end server. SAP Fiori front-end server technology platform. It is an add-on. These are add-ons. You can call it as add-ons or components. Okay. And SAP Fiori front-end server 3.0. So the current SAP Fiori front-end server is 5, the latest one, which got released Jan 2019, the latest one. So you require SAP Fiori front-end server 3.0, front-end server NetWeaver 7.5 or front-end server 7.51. The minimum requirement for installing this SAP Fiori front-end server is NetWeaver 7.5, and coming to our NetWeaver version is 7.52. Okay, for front-end server 5 we need to have NetWeaver version 7.51 minimum. It contains the following components with respective versions: SAP NetWeaver Gateway Foundation, which we have already seen, then user interface technology UI, central user interface component, and then UI for basis software component version, UI for basis application, containing SAP NetWeaver Fiori apps. Only for basis component, by default it is providing few Fiori apps for basis component. Got it? Okay. Okay. Then SAP Fiori apps for SAP S4hana are delivered with the product SAP Fiori for SAP S4hana and the product version SAP Fiori for SAP S4hana 1610. I'll be explaining this in detail. The underlying database for ABAP front-end server must be one of the following database. So coming to the front-end server must be on either SAP HANA database or MaxDB or Sybase. Understood. But coming to our front-end server is available on MS SQL. So nothing will be happen. We can still use this MS SQL. But SAP suggested databases for the front-end servers are HANA, MaxDB, Sybase. Okay, your front-end server must have these database as the primary database. But we have MS SQL, so nothing will be happen. We can continue with MS SQL. Okay. This is what SAP backend server. Okay. The backend server is what? S4hana. And coming to the backend server, ABAP based component. S4hana is ABAP based application, and it will also have SAP gateway. It will also have analytics, and it will also have enterprise search. So we don't need to install these components separately. When you install SAP S4hana, you get all these. You don't need to install any additional component in the backend system. The only additional components you need to install is in SAP frontend server. And the additional component is what? SAP gateway is default one. So you need to have central user interface and product-based user interface. Okay, coming to the product-based user interface, we also have installed Fiori apps for S4hana. That I'll be showing you. Okay. So this is what SAP backend server. And coming to our backend server, this is our backend server. This is the backend server. So SAP S4hana, no SAP Fiori for S4hana. So we also have, these are not required because we are taking this as only backend system. Understood? We are not using this system as front end, but still we can also use this system as front end because it also has central user interface component. which is Fiori front-end server, and we also have product-based user interface. Okay, sorry, product-based component. Okay, this is our backend system.
Shahid,
Yeah, please.
in what situation we use embedded and central hub deployment?
Generally, we don't use embedded. In real time, we don't use embedded. Do we use embedded in GRC? You might have worked on GRC.
Yeah.
Only for in sandbox week you can use this embedded scenario.
Okay, then if embedded is not being used, then why SAP is offering two things at the same time?
Why SAP offering means, the requirement for these components for the Fiori front-end server, whatever the backend components, the main component SAP Gateway. SAP Gateway is common in any of the SAP AS ABAP based application. It can be BI, it can be CRM, it can be SRM, it can be GRC, any of the ABAP based application, you get SAP Gateway as a default component. So what you need to install additionally, you just need to install only Fiori based components. So that system becomes, Fiori front-end server. SAP is not, see, just hold for a moment. SAP is not providing you that option because it can be possible. It is simply possible. Just adding one component, the existing system can become a Fiori front-end server.
Okay, so how does this work in the cloud-based environment, like say even the central hub deployment, right? Not the embedded one.
Central hub deployment.
Okay, and what would be? Will there be any difference with on-premise or hybrid like that?
See, when it comes to on-premise, we will have the entire responsibility to take care of the basis administration responsibilities like updating system, upgrading system, patching system, applying nodes. There are many advantages having cloud-based application, but the main one I am just explaining. So when it comes to on-premise, it is your responsibility to take care of the system. But coming to the cloud-based, so the cloud provider will take care of most of the basis activities, basis responsibilities. Got it, Arun?
Yeah, Shahid is, yeah.
Yeah.
Amit here.
Yeah, Amit.
One small short question actually. Now we are maintaining in the central system the RFC S_RFC ACL like that connectivity or RFC connectivity. So what about the embedded system? Do we left that authorization object as a blank or a star like that? Because
no, coming to the embedded, I also configure this in embedded. For embedded, you also need to establish the RFC communication between two clients.
suppose we have the only one instance, application instance, then
That's
two clients?
So you need to have two separate clients. One will be used as a front-end server and one will be used as your business server or back-end server.
So in both clients, we have to create the same user ID like that, what we are doing in the central hub like that?
ID. That user ID concept we'll discuss after a few minutes. Okay. You need, when it is even embedded deployment, you need to have two separate clients, and you need to maintain the same user ID in front end and back end. I'll be showing you how we are going to establish RFC communication and back end, that we will see in few minutes.
So Shahid, on cloud is better way because they'll make sure that
stop or even installing these components. So whatever the requirement we have, we can ask basis team to install all these components. Once
correct.
It is,
whereas on the cloud, you minimize basic. So that means basic work is reduced on cloud.
On cloud, yes.
Right.
But still will have the same responsibility when it comes to securities. Okay. 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 So this is what again the information of the backend system. Detail for product version of SAP S4hana 1610. This is the product official name, and end of mainstream maintenance is 31/12/2021. It means you have 5 years mainstream maintenance for the product SAP S4hana 1610. And this is the main component, SAP S4hana on-premise. Got it. So this is what front-end server and back-end server, and SAP Web Dispatcher forward these requests to ABAP front-end server or to the relevant back-end server for communication between SAP Web Dispatcher and client, and HTTP connection is established. So the communication between front-end and back-end is done using SAP Web Dispatcher, which establishes HTTPS connection. Okay. Okay. So now let's start the configurations for SAP S4hana and Fiori. So the first thing we need to do is to establish communication between Fiori front-end server and back-end server. And we need to establish trusted RFC connection. Okay. Now we'll see how we can establish trusted RFC connection. Let's log into the system. This is the first
So
activity we have to publish.
Shahid, one
Yeah,
question.
please.
In GUI, which client is front end? Can you tell us?
Yeah, I'll show you that. I'll show
Which?
you that now. Okay. This is what our backend system, and coming to the backend system, we will use 100 as our. We have only one client in the backend system, that is 100. You cannot create multiple clients. And then what I do is I have number of clients in this Fiori front-end server. We have a number of participants who are creating their own clients and establishing communication to this S4hana backend system. Okay, so I just need to check what client I should now use. Okay, so what to do? Okay, so I do one thing. I don't think so it's working. Just hold for a moment. Let me check what we have in 200 client. So that we can use 200 as a Fiori front-end server. No. No. Not sure about 200. Okay, let's try with 400 client. Okay, then let's do one thing. Let's use 500 as our Fiori front-end server. Okay. So what is the authorization required for trusted RFC communication? Let's create a role for trusted RFC.
So Shahid, we will all work from 500,
Yes.
or we create our own,
You can also
client.
create your own client and you can perform all these configuration activities, which is very important.
So you're going to show that, right?
Yeah, that's what we
Even if
started.
a copy.
Now we are starting the configurations, and this is the first step we have to do. Okay.
No, I mean you're not going to show how to copy a client as such, right?
No, what is the need of you hope you all know how to create and how to perform a client copy, right? Pravina, Ram, Pal, Arun, Kaushik. So hope you all know how to create and perform a client copy, so that you can create your own client and then you can perform all these configuration steps.
Yes, yeah, we're doing it.
Okay, so it's not required to show you creating client and how to perform a client copy. Okay.
Shahid, I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there any main difference between a regular RFC and trusted?
Yeah,
or
there
this
is
the
a lot
main?
of difference. That's what you can now see.
Okay.
What is the difference? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm creating a role for trusted RFC communication. Okay. Just hold for a moment, please. Just hold for a moment. Okay. So these are the authorization objects we have. And these are the fields we have for the authorization object yes underscore RFC ACL. So the first one we have is RFC system ID. Here you need to provide your backend system ID, but I'm selecting star so that we can use this for any of the backend system. RFC client, just providing all the authorizations, no restrictions here. Then RFC user, okay, not providing any username, just defining all. Then this is what the important one when you are establishing trusted RFC communication between two systems. And the field value for the field value is RFC underscore EQ user. Okay, and the value always must be called by the same user is possible. Understood? This is the value need to be defined for trusted RFC. And coming to the other fields, I'm just providing full authorizations. And the activities execute, that is 16. That is the only activity we have in this field. Okay. Let's save this. Generate. Okay. And now I'll create one user. Fiori admin.
Shari, this is you're doing in the client 500, which is Fiori, right?
Which is our Fiori front-end server. Fiori admin, and then okay. Now I'm assuming the role we created. What role we have created? This is the one we created, right? Okay. Save. And I'm also assigning all the authorizations because we are going to use this user for creating users, assigning roles, changing standard roles, so that I assign the role. And the same user also need to be available in the backend system. Okay, let's create one user in our backend system.
Shai, the question, why would you, this is just the RFC, you should create a separate user without giving RFC there, the trusted role, correct?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Okay, so this user you just created is to communicate from Fiori to S4hana. That's all it does. But the admin role could be something else. Why would you give admin role the trusted RFC?
What admin role I assign?
You assigned SAP all and trusted RFC to
I
that
assign only
Fiori
trusted
admin.
RFC. Okay, I assign trusted RFC for the communication between two systems. Coming to SAP underscore all, we have standard roles, and we also have Fiori designer. So what we do is we, instead of using a separate user ID for even user creation, role of maintenance, changing a existing role, standard role, better we do it with the same user ID, right?
Is this the best practice?
It is not the best practice. Every time, we need to switch users takes a lot of time. So let's have all the authorization to this user ID. Got it?
Okay, I
Because
see.
we also have a number of configurations to be performed. So we have to, activate SICF services. We also activate OData services, which requires some other administrative authorizations, basis authorizations. Got my point? So that's the reason I assigned. Okay. And what roles, what authorizations we have for Fiori, that I'll be explaining in detail. Okay. So this is our backend system.
Shahid, for that RFC user, did you change it into service or communication?
No.
Or you left it as a user?
No. We can also use it as a dialogue. Because this is what trusted RFC. Coming to the trusted RFC, every end user need to have the authorization for the trusted RFC. Got my point? That I'll be explaining again. How we create users, how do we maintain users in front end and back end. Every user, every back end user need to have the same user ID in the front end user too. Arun. When it comes to Fiori, just hold
Yeah.
for a moment, Manpreet. Every backend
Got it.
user need to have the same user ID in the front end. What user is doing in the front end, the same business activities he is performing in front end, so that he also should have the user ID in the back end. Got my point, Arun?
Yeah.
Who is performing these activities, these operations using Fiori apps? Business users. And where actually the business users exist? The business users exist in the backend system. Just Fiori is what? It is a layer. It is a layer on top of business application, and this layer makes the user operation easier. That's it. Got my point?
Yeah.
Arun. Okay? Okay. So I'm creating the same user ID here in backend system. But before that, we also need to create the authorization, RFC authorization. Okay.
Shahid, we will put the system ID for front end, right? If you are going to connect.
Yes, yes. When we are, establishing trusted RFC communication, here we put the front end system ID, and there in the front end we put back end system ID. Here I just have assigned star so that this can be used for multiple systems.
And this client and the user, they should be of front end or back end only? RFC client and user both?
I didn't get you. Here we do define, the front end, the other system details. Got it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So call by the same user is possible. This is the one we have to define, and coming to other authorization fields, I am assigning full authorization. Okay, activity 16. Done. Save, and then generate.
I had one question. In this case, SYSID would be the client 100, right?
No, SID of the front-end system is
Because SAP backend,
ABP.
it said SAP backend client is 100, right? That's what you said.
Yeah, so backend client we are using as 100. So all you have to use only 100 because it's a business application.
Okay.
And if you perform a client copy, it will create a huge data, right? So it means you are maintaining one separate system, and it also takes a lot of time to complete this client copy. It takes around 2 to 3 hours. So better you don't
So
create
it's not worth it.
Yeah, don't.
So just use the same one, right? Just use the same one.
A new client in the backend system. You can directly use this 100 as your backend client, and you can create a new client in your front-end system because that will not have any data. That's just a pure stack. Okay, this will have
Right. So only create Fiori client, correct? Yes. Okay.
I'm just saving this role, and then let's create a user ID, and then we'll assign this role to the user ID. Okay, create.
दूध दे दो ना पापा को पापा मीठा खाना
And then let's assign what it is.
Lee underscore trusted RFC.
Okay, then I'm also assigning SAP underscore R. Okay, let's save this now. So we have save button here for the new version. Okay, so user is created. Let's log into backend system using this new user ID. So the user has to be dial out. Arun. Let's close this and
Fury admin.
yeah, Fury admin, but I just forgot the password. So please give me password. The password is changed. Admin 1234 for all the. You can also use these details. Can you please mute your mic? Okay. So this is what Fury admin, and here I just also need to log into this system. Fury system. What client we are using? 500 or 400, right? Okay. Fury admin. Here we have the same user ID. Both systems must have the same user ID. Okay. Mm, okay. So what I do now is let's create a trusted RFC communication. For that, first we need to create the destinations. So sorry, what is this? The transaction code I executed. Sorry, it's 59. It's 59. Okay. Create. Okay. So I'm just defining the RFC, the backend RFC. NAD. Okay, 100, and the connection type is 3. Okay, connection from front end 500 to back end 100. Enter. Now it will ask you to provide the backend system details. Let's see the system details of the backend. Okay, so here you find all the information, menu, status, where you find all the system information. So here the host name is DS4HS4. Okay, this is the host name, and okay, instance number is 01. DS4HS401. So what we are doing here, we are providing backend system details. Okay, let's see whether this host name correct. Okay, it's correct. And then we have log on and security tab. The client is 100. User is what? Fury admin, right? Fury admin. Okay, current user, and then trusted relationship, yes. Got it. Save now. This is what the trusted relationship. And then let's test whether the connection is successfully established. Yes, the connection is successfully established. I can, log into the backend system. Got it. This is what S4hana. Okay. Connection test. And let's test the authorizations. Authorizations are important. Okay. So everything is fine and the connection is successfully established. Save it. Okay. It is saved. And now we also need to establish connection from backend to field. So now you can also ask me what is the need of establishing communication from backend to Fiori? Is it not enough to establish communication from front end to backend? Right? Coming to the connection, from backend to Fury is when it comes to the development, the developers need some of the data from front end to the back end. Got it. So in that scenario, we also need to establish the communication from back end to the front end server. Otherwise, front end to back end is enough to fetch the data from the back end system. Okay. Let's go to backend system. This is our backend system. And let me check the user ID. This user, okay, Theory Friend admin. And now, 759. Create. Client is 500, right? Okay. And the connection type is 3. and then connection from backend 100 to front-end server 500, enter. And then now we need to have the details of the front-end system. Let's see what is the host name and instance number of the front-end system. This is what our front-end system, and you can find these details in system status. There you find the details. NW server and the instance number is 02. NW server instance number 02. Let's check whether the details are correct. Okay.
You have to put underscore AP.
Underscore
But,
where?
yeah, it was underscore AP.
No, underscore is what? That is the SID. ABP is the SID. Host name underscore SID underscore instance number. But the host name is NW server. And the thing is that we also need to define this host name in etc file. Then only it can be done. But let's see what we can do. That's what we're not able to get the information of this system. The host name of this host name has to be defined in etc file, host file, on this host where your S4hana is installed. Here I already maintained, so that's what we are able to get the IP address. Can we provide the host name? Okay, let's see what happens. We can also, okay. So the client is what? 500, right? English client 500 and current user. Okay. Trusted. Okay. Okay. Let's save this. Please save. Connection test. Okay. Yeah. We get this. We just need to maintain, the host name, of front-end server in the host file of the backend system. Got it. Just hold for a moment. Just hold for a moment, please. Okay. So I'm just adding it. Hold for a few minutes. I just want to check the IP address of this system. This is okay. Just testing to get the IP address of this of the same system.
Shahid, so you are in client Fury client, right?
Fury system. I'm in Fury system, and we directly logged into the Fury system, and the S4hana is installed in a separate host.
Yeah, so you're trying to find what the
IP address.
what the host name for RF.
I can see here the IP address of this Fury system, 192.168.0.80, but still I'm not sure whether it is a correct one. Just I'll
Okay.
get it. Don't worry. I don't. Okay, start connection type has to be 3, right? No, it already got created. Here I can get IP address. Yes, it is IT. Hold for a moment, please.
So Shahid, why did you not use 500? Is it the same one?
Yeah, Manpreet.
Why did you not use client 500? That's what
No,
you were
no,
trying to connect,
I'm
right?
just trying to get the IP address of this host. Right, I got it, and it is
Okay.
already maintained in S4hana host. It is already maintained. So let's see now for okay, it is added now. Okay, we are even able to ping this. Hold for a moment.
So Shahid, when we create a client, we'll have a different IP address for that?
No. IP address will always be same.
Only the instance number will change, right?
Instance number will also not be changed.
So then how would it know that it's connected to my client, which is
No,
say,
there is no concept
which
of
is
client. For any client, you just need to provide host name and instance number. That's it. And instance number, host name is same for all the clients.
okay.
Okay. Okay then. So let's check now. Host name is already defined. Yeah. So now let's see technical settings. Let's exit this and create a new one. So it's not a backend one, it is a front-end one, right? TRXC, and the client is 500, connection type is 3, connection from backend 100 to front-end server 500. Means it got saved before. Okay, let me change the name. Okay. Just hold for a moment. Or let me just remove the existing one and then we can use the same name. It is not allowing to move.
Shahid, did you check the router is up and running? Sometimes I've seen this issue before. The CPC call is not reaching.
No, it is okay. It is fine.
Okay.
Just connection from backend 100 to front end 500. Okay. Instance number 02, and then let me check. Still there is some issue. Yeah. So need to check, but let's go ahead and try. Still it is not, identifying the host. Client is what? 500, right? Okay. Current user and the relationship is trusted. Save this. Let's test it. Yeah, it is successfully now identifying NW server. And then, yeah, so the remote login is also possible. That's good. And let me test the authorizations. Okay. So everything is fine. We just define the RFC destinations, and now we have to define trusted. We have to define the trusted RFC. That we can do it using the transaction code SMT1. SMT1. Okay. So it is already exist. So what we do now is I'll delete the existing one and then we'll do it from the beginning so that you get some idea how we can establish trusted RFC communication. Okay.
So Shahid, we already created that. So what is this? What is different in this?
Created, no, we are just defining, we are trusting that this system is reliable, this system is trusted. That we define here in SMT1 transaction code. We just have defined the destinations in SM59 transaction code. And now we are allowing those systems to be available. Got it? Okay. So it is already, trusted RFC communication is already established in this system. So let me delete all these, or can we continue with this? Okay, let me delete all these. The password is admin123. Then what is the password? India123. No.
You're in different client.
Yeah. Oh, okay, sorry. That's good. Okay, it got now deleted. Let me delete everything so that we can do it from the beginning. Okay, so everything got deleted. And now create. Okay. Continue. Hold it a moment. So I'm just defining the system. NW server, right? NW server. And the instance number is 02. Continue. Shift 100. Share your mail. And password is admin123.
I think, Shahid, you have to be in Fury and then make that 100 as a test. Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. Okay. So let's continue. It will ask you to provide, the user ID and password. Continue. That's it. And the same steps also need to be performed in your front-end system. Okay. So we are now trusting, we are in S4hana system, which is our DS4 XS4. Okay, not sure about the host name, but we are in S4hana system, and now we are trusting this NW server ABAP system. And the same steps also need to be performed in your front-end system. Let's go to the front-end system. This is our front-end system, which is NW server. Okay, so we already have these. Let's delete this. $500, right? Our client is 500. Admin 123. Why? What's the password? What's the password? India 123 or admin 123? It should be admin 123. Okay, sorry. Admin 123.
I was about to tell you that.
Yeah, just hold for a moment, please. Hello? Yeah, Prasad. Shahid. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just hold for a moment. Yeah, sorry. Okay. So now what we do is, I just have deleted the existing one, and now let me delete this too. Okay, done. So everything got
Yeah,
done.
Shahid,
Yeah.
can we have 5-10?
Yeah, we are about to finish this, right? So once, trusted RFC communication is established, then we'll finish it here, and from the next session, in the next session, we'll complete all the configurations. Okay?
Okay.
Continue. What is the host name of our S4hana system? DS4? What it is? DS4 and HS4, right? Ishwar. DS4 HS4.
Sorry?
Yes, DS4 HS4. Okay. The host name is DS4 HS4 and the instance number is 01. DS4 HS4 instance number is 01. Continue. It will ask you to log into your backend system, and the backend system client is 100. Admin 123. Okay, done. It's done. Sorry. Continue. That's it. Finish. So we have successfully established trusted RFC communication between both the systems, NW server to DS4HS4 and DS4HS4 to NW server. Okay, so we just have started the configuration, and the first step is establishing trusted RFC communication between both the systems, and then we have the other configurations. In the next session, we'll finish all the configurations, and then we'll start we'll start creating roles, and we'll start creating different applications. Okay, that we'll see in our next session. So shall I stop it here for today? Any doubts?
Yeah.
Any doubts? Yeah, please.
Shahid, one more question. We have communicated the RFC with the front end, back end, front end, right? So, after that, you have done the SMT1 with the connecting with the HANA S4 system. This is required only from the back end system or from front end system actually?
Back end to front end. Actually, it is not required to have communication from back end to front end. But when it comes to the developers, what developers do is they perform development activities in back-end system, and in that case, they need some data from the front-end system. So in that case, we need to have the communication from back-end to front-end as well. Got it?
So we need to assign this RFC role in the back-end also, right?
Yeah,
then for user ID?
Not same role. User must have the authorization for RFC communication, and coming to the users must be exist in both systems. That we will discuss again in our coming session.
Yeah.
The concept why to have the same users in both the systems, that we will discuss in our coming sessions. Okay.
Shahid, one last question. What does SMT1 did? What does SMT1 transaction
Where
do?
we define, the systems for the trusted RFC.
So you have run the SMT both system you have run, na? Back end and front end both you have checked.
That's what I explained, From back end it is not required.
Define as
For the developers it is required. Simple concept.
So define as a trusted system, right?
Yeah, Shahid, we need the access for the systems and link, and my one is pending.
Sending you, hopefully by today evening. Okay. You will get system.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Next will be next Saturday.
We'll have
Saturday, next Saturday, right?
Next Saturday, that starts at 6:30 a.m.
Next Friday, I believe. Friday. Oh, okay. In India.
Yeah, in India it will be Saturday morning, and in US session next Saturday, that starts at 6:30 a.m.
Next Friday, I believe. Friday. Oh, okay. In India.
Yeah, in India it will be Saturday morning, and in USA it will be Friday night. Okay.
Yeah, Shahid, if it is possible, can you send the ADM 945?
Yeah, sure. I'll check and I'll arrange the ADM 945. And you can also see that sessions are not being recorded. Okay. And the recording will not be provided to anyone.
वो भी उधर से बंदे हैं तो उधर से भी तो कोई आया नहीं
You all should know that. Okay. Okay then, so thank you very much, and see you next weekend, and by today evening I'll be arranging system.
Hello, Shahid. Can you share the
PPT and I'll arrange some documents.